Hi, boys and girls. I hope everyone had a chance to make their water cycle in a bag and you got to see how it made rain inside your little bag. And now I want to talk to you about the water cycle and especially about clouds. You know, clouds, those big white fluffy things you see in the sky. What are clouds? Do you really know? It's not cotton. When I was a little girl, I thought it was just like big fluffy cotton. Not cotton. Clouds are made up of very, very teeny tiny droplets of water or ice crystals. And the droplets are so small that they float in the air. Yep. Now there's different types of clouds. There's a cumulus cloud. Let me show you what that looks like. Here's a picture of a cumulus cloud. Okay? Cumulus clouds are white puffy clouds that look like pieces of floating cotton. Cumulus clouds are often called fair weather clouds. The base of each cloud is flat and the top of each cloud has rounded towers. When the top of the cumulus clouds resemble the head of a cauliflower, it's called cumulus congestus or towering cumulus. These clouds grow upward and they can develop into giant cumulus bus clouds, which are thunderstorm clouds. The next type of cloud is a stratus cloud. So look outside someday and see if you can see the differences. They are uniform grayish clouds that often cover the entire sky. They resemble fog that doesn't reach the ground. Light mist or drizzle sometimes fall out of these clouds, stratus clouds. Boys and girls, did you ever have a foggy day and you walked outside and you saw a lot of fog and you walk in that? Guess what? You're walking through a cloud. That's right. Fog is a cloud that's down on the ground where you can walk on it or through it. Cirrus clouds. Look at this kind. I know you've seen these sometimes. They're the most common of the high clouds. They're composed of ice and thin, wispy clouds blown in high winds into long streamers. Can you see that? The long part? Cirrus clouds are usually white and predict fair to pleasant weather. By watching the movement of cirrus clouds, you can tell from which direction weather is approaching. And when you see cirrus clouds, it usually indicates a change in weather that will occur within 24 hours or one day. The water cycle. The earth has a limited amount of water. We all know that, right? We know that 70% of the earth is water, but that's it. That's what we got, okay? That water is our water. That water keeps going around and around and around in what we call the water cycle. There's a few main parts. Evaporation, can you say that? Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. These are big words and I'm going to explain them to you. Because boys and girls, even though you're 4 or 5 years old, I know you can understand this. Okay, here's a picture. So, here, transportation, that is movement, right? You all know about transportation vehicles. Well, now this water's transpirating through the plants up into the sky. And then precipitation is when rain or snow falls out of the sky. See, it goes up in the cloud. The moisture, the water goes up out of the plants and trees. It goes into the cloud, comes down as rain. And then evaporation is so the ocean or lakes, whatever kind of water it is, it goes into the air. That's evaporation. And it goes in as a vapor, so you can't see it. It's invisible. And then it goes up, condensation forms the clouds, and then the rain comes down again. So, what does the water cycle look like? Well, here's a picture. Let's look at this together. The water cycle. Here's some clouds. See the clouds? And that makes the rain or snow, which is precipitation. Then the snow goes, or on the top of the mountaintops, there's snow because it's very cold on top of the mountaintops. But when that melts, it runs down here, snow and ice, turns back into what? When it's not cold anymore, what does snow and ice turn into? That's right, water. So then the water goes in the streams, into a lake, and then it evaporates back into the clouds, and then it comes back down as rain. Wow. That's so all the water that we have in the world is our same water that we just keep going into a circle. Condensation. It's the water vapor in the air that gets cold and changes into a liquid. So you guys can do this yourself and see it at home. Okay, so pour a glass of cold water on a hot day and watch what happens. Water forms on the outside of the glass. That water didn't somehow leak through the glass. It actually came from the air. The water vapor in the warm air turned back into liquid, and when it touched the cold glass. So it's not really warm enough outside yet to do that, but as soon as we get a nice warm day, take a glass of ice water outside and watch the little droplets of water form. Okay, let's see. Precipitation occurs when so much water has condensed that the air cannot hold it anymore. Okay, so it all evaporated up into the clouds, and it's gonna burst. It's bursting. And the clouds get heavy and the water falls back to earth in the form of, there's different things. Okay, if it's super cold out, freezing cold out, what do you think the water what the water droplets come out as from the clouds if it's really cold out? If you said snow, you're right. Sometimes, depending on the weather, on what the temperature is down where we are and in the clouds, sometimes we can get freezing rain. Hail's those little, we haven't seen hail in a while here, but they're little tiny pieces of like little ice balls. It's cool. And then rain, just water falling from the sky. Evaporation is when the sun heats up the water in rivers and lakes and the ocean and turns it into vapor or steam. The water leaves the river, lake, or ocean and goes into the air. And then, falls back down to earth as precipitation, rain, snow, hail, and then it goes back into the oceans and rivers, and it also, of course, goes into the soil so that the trees can grow and the plants can grow, and then it all starts over and over again. And that's how we all live on earth, through that. I have some questions. I think you're going to answer them. What is a cloud made of? Is it made of snow, cotton, or water droplets and ice crystals? If you said water droplets and ice crystals, you're right. Here's another question. What happens when water evaporates? Does it A, heat turns the water into steam and it goes into the air? B, the water disappears? Or C, the water dries up? What do you think? Are you thinking about it? Yeah, evaporates. It goes back into the air. What is precipitation? Is it A, sleet and snow, B, rain and hail, or C, all of the above? That's right, all of the above. Precipitation is sleet, snow, rain, and hail. Well, that's it about the water cycle. Glad boys and girls had a chance to make their own water cycle in a bag, and I hope it was a really fun project for you. Bye-bye.